Hey everybody, Brian Boyle here, and welcome to episode 59 of the Mesh Tongue. We are so close to episode 60, I can taste it. That's going to be tomorrow. But today's episode 59, and welcome back. Today's a new day. It's Tuesday, and the snow has stopped for the time being here. It's a beautiful day, and hopefully you are having an awesome day. I appreciate the questions, the comments. Keep those rolling in. The emails are coming in, and I'm getting to them as I can. I appreciate them. Don't go thinking that we're too busy for this. We've got a lot going on, but I will certainly get back to you if it takes me a quick minute or a day or so. Don't worry, I'll get back to you. And again, give me your updates, give me your progress. Let me know how things are going. That's how I know how we can make adjustments for this. And go from there. So those emails can come into me at Brian, BRIAN, at company5k.com. Brian at company5k.com, and I'll be sure to get to them. Now, if you recall, in episode 34, I talked about using your arms for hill running. So we talked about getting those arms up, using them as a guide and a way to take some of the weight off of the lower body and some of the resistance. But we never really talked about why. Why would you use hills? Well, for one reason, specificity of training. If you're going to be running on a hilly course, guess where you need to train? That's right. You got it. You guys are smart. You need to train on the hills. Okay, if you're running a hilly course and you're not running on any hills during your training, it's going to be a lot more difficult. Okay, and I mean not just like physically, but mentally. Okay, mentally, there's a lot of people that see this uphill and they go, oh gosh, the mental challenge. If you know you can do something already, say, oh, I've trained on this course, I've trained on these hills. It makes it that much easier when you're trying to run at a race pace, on race day. Now, again, if you're not out there racing, and I know there's, that's always been some things. I talk a lot about racing. Not everybody races. Hills can be a great way just to build up your cardiovascular intensity if you are looking for using running as a weight loss measure. The intensity is certainly going to increase. So you could use a treadmill, you could use stadium steps, whatever there's an incline, there's going to be a greater intensity requirement coming from the use of an incline or some sort of hill workout. Now, if you talk to Jack Daniels, as we talked about in the Daniels running formula, he would include hills in the interval or tempo runs. Thinking about a hill that would be at least a minute or more in length for you to run, and then as you're jogging down the downhill, you can use that either as recovery, or if you're going to jog the uphill and you're going to use the downhill to work on your speed and turnover, you can do that as well. So again, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you look at Hal Higdon and his approach on hills, he kind of comes from it from a little bit of an angle where it's saying that it's going to build the quads, it's going to build up the hips. Anything above a 10% incline. So if you get on your treadmill and you set your incline for 10%, the glutes and hamstrings are going to be the primary movers to begin with, but it really pulls the glutes in on a 10% incline. So, the quads are going to get a heck of a workout, but the glutes are really firing. So somebody that may have some hip issues, if that's you and you're saying, gosh, I've got these hip issues, and maybe you and I have talked about, some of the hip strengthening exercises, don't be afraid to get on a treadmill and work on running at a 10% incline, or greater. It depends on your conditioning level to help with facilitating or building that glute, that glute firing as well. How many days a week do you need to do hills? Well, chances are you can do hills, 1 to 2 times a week. And if you're following a training plan, your coach may already have you on something there. If you think about kind of a typical training plan that may have a day or two of rest in there, you're probably going to have some sort of interval work. You're going to have some longer distance runs. You maybe have a tempo run. You can use your hills on the longer kind of days where you're doing more intervals or tempo runs, I wouldn't necessarily do it on your easy days. Your easy days are designed to kind of build your base mileage, but give you also a break from the higher intensity level training. So this is going to be your higher intensity level training. Factor that in. If you're going out on a long run and you're doing this, so one of the things that I would do was there was an area called the Bud Loops just outside of Emmaus, Pennsylvania. If you're familiar with them, that I've probably seen many of out there running these things if you're in that area. But the Bud Loops were popularized by Bud Coates, and they were anywhere between 17 and 20, maybe 22 to 23 miles in length. These ascents up and over the South Mountain out there. It's a really difficult thing to hold steady state if you're trying to hold your marathon pace. It's not that it can't be done, but if you're going to do that and you're holding marathon pace or you're holding some other race pace for those longer runs, I would encourage you not to do hill repeats later in the week. Again, you've got to let that muscle, you got to let those muscles kind of, downshift and relax and rest a little bit. You can do the stuff that I did. It wasn't always smart. That's why I'm trying to help you, okay? I'm trying to help you so that you don't do the same crazy things that I would do, because as a bullheaded male that thought, oh, I can just get away with this, I can run as hard as I can and crush myself into oblivion. Well, guess what? You get a lot of experience, okay, and a lot of injury. So I'm trying to prevent you from doing the same. So hill workouts 1 to 2 times a week. If you're going to include them in your longer runs, then by all means, don't do them in your interval or your tempo runs. Save those for your long runs. Again, have a reason for what you're doing with each thing. If somebody says, hey, we're going to go up and run a trail, and there's going to be lots of hills, then again, look over your training plan for either the week before or the week after. You can either say, no, I've already got my hill workout in, or okay, I'm going to take something out from this next week. I'm going to put this in here. So lots of things to think about. Hopefully you've got some value from this. The hills can be a phenomenal way to build mental. If you can do hills and you can get good at them mentally, I'll tell you what. You start off at the starting line and you've got some big thoughts in that head of yours that you are the man or the woman, and I can just crush this course, because I crushed that hill course in my training the other day. Guarantee you that you'll be at least mentally prepared. Now, again, have I seen it go the opposite way? Absolutely. Where people are training on hills and they get on a flat, fast course, and the guy or gal who's trained flat and fast has is certainly a specificity on that course. Comes to be. But hey, that's what it is. So hills, I would encourage you, get good at hills. The reasons why, as we've just stated, that they can be a huge mental gain, but also building the strength in the legs. Also making sure that if you do have some glute issues, it's that 10% incline or greater. If you don't have access to a treadmill, stadium stairs or a long flight of stairs out, if you live in a city, can be a great repeat. You would float, so you'd go up the hill, float back down. All right, that down is your rest. Go back up. Anywhere between 6 to 8 times is generally enough if you're just starting off. Okay, get through the first 2 to 3, see how you feel. Again, you want to hold steady state. So if you're using your heart rate as a guide, if you're using your time, okay, make sure that you start off where you give yourself enough to get through the 6 to 8 reps. Again, with everything, you don't want to start off too fast. All right, you want to say, all right, I'm going to hold this pace. I know this is a certain distance. I'm going to hold this pace, and I'm going to try and keep this same pace the entire time. Don't go out and say, I'm going to crush this first one, and then I'm going to try and survive the last. Okay, and your time just starts falling off. So hopefully you find some value from this. This is Brian Boyle. Again, send me those emails at brian@company5k. That's the number 5k.com. Check out runpainless.com. Got all sorts of information up at runpainless.com. And whatever you do, don't go hurting yourself to come back. But tomorrow is episode 60, that big number. And hopefully have a great day. Take care.